In 2019, in Zurich, Switzerland, scientists stunned the world when they managed to encode digital data into a 3D printed rabbit, not by using microchips or hard drives, but by embedding it directly into synthetic DNA. Inside a fragment no bigger than a grain of dust, they stored the entire blueprint of the rabbit. And from that fragment alone, they could recreate the design, print a new rabbit, and hide the same DNA again, creating a perfect copy, an infinite replication with no electricity, no decay, and information locked in time for millions of years. If we just invented this, could someone else, thousands of years ago, have done it before us? Why do ancient megaliths in Italy align with the constellation Gemini? Why do zodiac wheels carved into stone resemble cosmic clocks? Why do crop circles encode advanced mathematics? And why do we find patterns of encrypted sequences inside our own DNA? Maybe all of it is a message, a universal hard drive left behind by a civilization not of this earth. If the truth lies inside our very cells, then humanity may not be nature's accident. We may be a project, programmed from the beginning. Since the dawn of time, humans have tried to defeat time itself. We carved letters into stone, pressed words into clay, invented paper, magnetic tape, hard drives, CDs, and cloud servers, yet every medium failed. Stone erodes, clay shatters, paper burns, disks rot, and servers crash. Just 1 century without maintenance, and entire civilizations of data vanish. DNA is different. It is nature's own storage system, the molecule of life, existing in every cell of every human, every animal, every plant, and DNA is stable. Mammoth DNA has survived in frozen soil for over 30,000 years, which means genetic code can outlast any technology we have ever built. But the secret isn't just longevity, it's density. Computers use binary, zeros and ones, but DNA uses 4 letters, A, T, C, G, a quaternary code, which means information can be packed millions of times denser than any hard drive. In Zurich in 2019, scientists proved this point when they encoded data into synthetic DNA and injected it into a 3D printed rabbit. The rabbit looked ordinary, but inside its plastic body was the digital blueprint to create itself. Cut a tiny sample, decode it, print another rabbit, and inside that new rabbit, the same DNA blueprint appears again, creating an infinite loop of self-replication, the closest thing to immortality data has ever had. A single drop of DNA could hold entire libraries. A gram could hold hundreds of petabytes, all of human knowledge in something smaller than a teaspoon. Unlike chips, it doesn't require power. Unlike drives, it doesn't degrade in decades. Under the right conditions, DNA could last millions of years. This isn't just storage, it's survival, a time capsule that waits for whoever can decode it. If humans just discovered this, what if someone else had known thousands or even millions of years ahead? A species that could bend DNA the way we bend binary code. For them, DNA wouldn't just be biology, it would be memory, a cosmic hard drive. Think about it. If you wanted to send a message across time, what medium would you choose? A metal plate corrodes, a stone carving breaks, an electronic chip burns. But DNA duplicates itself. Every cell carries a copy, a self-replicating storage device that spreads into a population and multiplies forever. And now, look at the evidence. Across the world we find puzzles. Massive stone walls in Alatri, Italy, built from blocks weighing over 20 tons, aligned not randomly, but with the stars of Gemini. 2 stars, Castor and Pollux, twins born from a glowing egg that fell from the sky, according to Greek myth. Not just an egg, but an object silver and bright, roaring with fire as it landed. To modern ears, what does that sound like? A craft, a vehicle, a visitor. And maybe the fortress wasn't just protection. Maybe it was a marker, a monument that whispers, "Look here, look up. We came from the twins." The pattern repeats. On the ceiling of Grand Central Terminal in New York, an ancient zodiac shows the slow shift of the equinox from Aries to Pisces to Aquarius, like a cosmic calendar. Some say it's prophecy, that the age of Aquarius, the era we live in now, signals awakening, technology, reunion. And what about art? Leonardo da Vinci's painting of John the Baptist shows a strange figure, almost androgynous, pointing upward. In a mirror, hidden shapes emerge, faces not quite human. Coincidence or a code only the future could see? Even geometry whispers. Tibetan mandalas, crop circles etched in English fields, not random art, not vandalism, but patterns of math, pi to 10 decimals, fractal sets, equations nature herself obeys. If math is universal, then these could be universal messages, sent not in language but in numbers, because numbers don't lie. Numbers survive translation. Numbers are forever. So the question is, if an advanced civilization wanted to leave a message for us, wouldn't DNA be the perfect medium? In southern Portugal, a farmer digging a well hit something unexpected. A massive stone shaped like an egg, almost 2 meters long. Scholars call it the Algarve egg. Carved into its surface were patterns of 2 snakes coiling and twisting. But look closer, and you'll see it's not snakes at all, but a double helix, the very shape of DNA, a shape humanity didn't even know until 1953. So how could ancient hands carve it? How could they know unless the knowledge came from somewhere else? The trail doesn't stop in Portugal. Travel back 5,000 years to Mesopotamia, where the Sumerians, the first known civilization, left stone tablets showing winged figures standing by a sacred tree. Scholars call it the tree of life. But modern eyes see something different. Branches that twist like nucleotides, a symbol that mirrors DNA itself. 2 artifacts, 2 continents, separated by time and culture, but the same hidden message. Life is code. And then, in 2013, 2 scientists in Kazakhstan published a controversial claim that human DNA contains something unnatural, not random mutations, but patterns like error correction codes in computer software. In programming, these codes prevent mistakes. In biology, they shouldn't exist, but they do, too precise, too perfect. To these scientists, it was no accident. It was design, as if someone or something wrote instructions into our DNA. A cosmic signature, a proof of authorship. Think about what that means. Every cell in your body, every drop of blood, every breath you take could be carrying a message, not just from your ancestors, but from elsewhere. Ancient astronaut theorist Georgios Tsoukalos once said, "The final proof will not be found in pyramids." Message, a living library, a storage drive written not in silicon but in flesh. And the only question left is, who were the authors? For nearly 2 million years, human ancestors lived slowly. Small brains, simple tools, fire, stone axes, survival. Then suddenly, everything changed. In less than 200,000 years, something extraordinary happened. Brain size exploded, language appeared, art flourished, civilization was born. Archaeologists call it the Great Leap Forward, but no one knows why. Evolution is supposed to be slow, gradual, step by step, yet here the jump was instant. Why? What triggered it? Some scientists argue climate change created new pressures and new adaptations, but others say it doesn't add up. The leap was too fast, too precise, like a switch was flipped. And here's where the theory turns radical. What if that switch was DNA modification? Imagine a species of early hominids, primitive and struggling, and then intervention. A small edit to the genetic code, a nudge in the right place, and suddenly, not just survival, but imagination, art, mathematics, dreams of the stars. Some researchers even suggest humanity might be a project, a biological experiment seeded on Earth, guided by someone who understood genetics long before us. And look at the evidence. No other species made the same leap. Chimpanzees are still chimps, gorillas are still gorillas, but humans created rocket ships, particle accelerators, artificial intelligence. Was this simply chance, or was it planned? If it was planned, then by whom? And for what purpose? A message, a creation, or perhaps a mission we haven't yet discovered. The great enigma of evolution may not be about where we came from, but why we were made. Throughout history, humans searched for ways to speak with the unknown. Words change, languages die, but some forms of communication never fade. Mathematics, geometry, sound, they are universal. Because no matter the planet, no matter the species, 2 + 2 is still 4. The ratio of a circle is still pi. The vibration of sound still forms patterns. Ancient civilizations seemed to know this. In India and Tibet, monks created mandalas, sacred circles of perfect symmetry, drawn in sand, etched in stone, meditated upon for hours. To them, it was a map of the cosmos, but modern science calls it something else: the geometry of sound. In the 18th century, physicist Ernst Chladni placed sand on a vibrating plate, and as sound resonated, the grains arranged themselves into complex patterns, circles, stars, mandalas. Today, we call it cymatics. And here's the shock. When researchers recreated the ancient sound Om, the primal vibration of Hindu tradition, the pattern was nearly identical to a sacred mandala. Coincidence? Or knowledge passed down from a higher source? And then there are the fields of England. Since the 1960s, crop circles have appeared overnight, some simple, others stretching hundreds of meters, perfectly geometric, with no footprints and no signs of tools. When analyzed, they revealed mathematics. In 2008, one crop formation depicted the number pi to 10 decimal places. Others showed fractals, Mandelbrot sets, Julia sets, patterns so advanced they require modern computers to generate. If it's just a prank, why encode complex math? If it's communication, then the message is clear. Mathematics is the language of the universe. And sound, geometry, and number together may be the first step to understanding it. Maybe mandalas are not just art. Maybe crop circles are not just curiosities. Maybe they are the pages.
Are we ready to listen? If alien civilizations exist, what better way to speak than with math? It is precise, it is eternal, it cannot be mistranslated, and perhaps they are already speaking to us. The question is, are we ready to listen? In 2019, scientists once again stunned the world when they encoded digital data not into a hard drive, not into a chip, but into synthetic DNA. Inside a 3D printed plastic rabbit, they embedded its own blueprint, a hidden archive that, when extracted from just a fragment, could reconstruct the entire file and print a new rabbit, a clone carrying the same digital code. DNA, they realized, isn't just biology. It is a storage device, stable for millions of years, dense beyond imagination. 1 gram of DNA can hold over 200 petabytes of data, entire libraries in a drop of liquid, with no electricity, no decay, no cloud server needed.
Now pause and consider this. If humans discovered this only recently, what about a civilization thousands, maybe millions of years older? Could alien beings have left messages not on stone, not in the sky, but inside life itself? In 1984, farmers in Portugal unearthed a massive stone egg nearly 2 meters long, and carved onto its surface were twin serpents intertwined. To modern eyes, it looked like the double helix of DNA. Yet DNA's twisted ladder wasn't revealed to science until 1953. How could an ancient artifact depict it thousands of years earlier? Travel east to Mesopotamia, where, on Sumerian tablets, gods with wings stand beside a so-called tree of life, branches curling upward in perfect symmetry. Yet, to modern eyes, the shape mirrors the spiraling backbone of DNA. Accident, or evidence that ancient peoples were shown the very code of life by someone else? Fast forward to 2013, when two scientists in Kazakhstan, Sherbak and Makakov, published a radical theory claiming that human DNA contains patterns like error-correcting codes in software. When programmers design code, they insert safeguards to catch mistakes, but nature doesn't usually do this. Yet in our DNA, they found mathematical precision too elegant to be random. Their conclusion was staggering. Our genetic code may carry a signature, a watermark left by whoever or whatever engineered it. And that leads to a chilling thought. What if the ultimate evidence of alien contact isn't buried under the pyramids or hidden in ancient myths, but inside every cell of our bodies? Think about evolution itself. For millions of years, primates changed slowly. Then, suddenly, Homo sapiens appeared with language, art, technology, civilization. A leap so fast, it defies Darwin's gradual climb. Did something, or someone, rewrite our DNA? Maybe humanity itself is the message, a living archive, a project launched eons ago, and if so, our blood, our cells, our very existence are proof that we are not just children of Earth, but children of the stars. So when we ask, where is the evidence? Maybe we've been carrying it all along. Not in stone, not in myth, but in the code that makes us who we are. DNA, the final evidence, the ultimate message, a cosmic hard drive written long before we knew how to read it. Look at the sky. For thousands of years, humans tracked the stars, searching for patterns, but they weren't just keeping time. They were watching for a sign. In ancient astrology, the heavens are divided into great ages, each lasting over 2,000 years. The age of Taurus, the age of Aries, the age of Pisces, and now we stand at the dawn of the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces gave rise to empires, religion aligned in Aquarius, and astrologists declared it the dawn of a new cosmic era. Only 7 years later, humans walked on the moon. Coincidence? Or prophecy fulfilled? The age of Aquarius is said to bring a flood of knowledge, not from religion, not from kings, but from technology, from the very stars themselves. Think about it. Within decades, we built computers, satellites, the internet, artificial intelligence, we cracked the human genome, and we learned how to code DNA like a hard drive, exactly when the sky said a new age would begin. For believers in the ancient astronaut theory, this is not chance. It is a clock. The zodiac is not myth, but a cosmic calendar marking when humanity would be ready to reconnect with its origins, to meet its makers. If DNA is the archive, then Aquarius is the password. The moment the file is unlocked, prophecies across cultures speak of a return. The Hopi call it the coming of the blue star Kachina. The Maya marked 2012 as the end of one world age and the beginning of another. In Christian texts, Revelation warns of a time when the heavens will be rolled back like a scroll. Different voices, same message, that one day the sky will open. And when it does, will we see angels or astronauts? Today, as AI evolves faster than our understanding, as telescopes scan distant galaxies, as we prepare missions to Mars and beyond, we may be living in the very age those prophecies described. The age of Aquarius. An age of connection, technology, and revelation. An age where the human race finally asks the question out loud: are we alone?
Or are we finally ready to meet those who left their fingerprints in our DNA? Every human carries within them a secret, not in the mind, not in the heart, but in the code of life itself. DNA. 3 billion letters, a script older than any book, a library written not in ink but in molecules. But who was the author? Science says random mutation and natural selection, a blind process over billions of years. But there is another possibility, one that shakes the foundation of everything we believe. What if DNA is not just biology but technology? A storage system, an operating system, a message. When engineers write code, they leave markers, error-correcting sequences, structures too precise to be accidental. And some scientists now claim they see the same thing in DNA. Patterns too clean, too elegant, as if placed there intentionally. If true, then evolution is not just survival of the fittest, it is execution of a program. And then the question becomes, who wrote it? A god? A civilization far older than our own? Visitors who arrived on Earth not to conquer, but to plant, to seed, to design? We are not just descendants of apes, we are the children of engineers. This theory explains the leap. For millions of years, hominids walked the earth with little change. Then suddenly an explosion of intelligence. Art, language, cities, civilization. A spark, as if something or someone rewrote the code. And if DNA is a hard drive, then humanity itself is the message. Our bodies are the archive. Our existence is the proof. Every heartbeat, every thought, every dream is a line of code in the greatest program ever written. And if that is true, then somewhere out there, the programmers are still watching. The final question remains, are we alone, or are we designed? If designed, then for what? Be pulsing right now inside your blood, inside your cells, inside the spiral staircase of DNA, the cosmic script that has been waiting patiently for us to finally read it.